extra today, just warning you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Real Reds Talk, the authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. This is your breaking news show. What's going on, people? We have got an absolute massive show today. Loads of stuff to talk about. And it's weird because this morning I was looking at it, say it's a little bit quiet on the news front. And then it's like bang, 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 bang in typical Manchester United fashion. So we've had a takeover update from Mike Keegan, who hasn't updated in about a month, it feels like, 4 to 6 weeks. Green light on Amrabat. That bid and the deal is ready to be done as soon as Donny and Fred leaves. Mason Greenwood decision in the next couple of days. David Moyes, last try for Harry Maguire. Højlund has been delayed. Well, at least the kind of presentation of Højlund has. And we've got an FPL team review. So make sure you absolutely get involved in the comments section. Leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new around these parts. We've got Sam and Treyas on the show. We were looking just as excited as I am. How are we doing, lads?
Yeah, not too bad. I can't do any more takeover stuff. I've had enough. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Like, just make a decision, please.
All right. Well, I can't wait to get your thoughts on that then. Shreyas, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm fairly happy. Apart from all the takeover news, I'm fairly happy with how things have been going and how we've been proceeding. But I just don't know what to believe and what not to believe when it comes to the takeover. Like genuinely, I don't really know what to believe. Is it speculation? Is it actually coming from somewhere, which is credible or not? Is it just there, to put out just certain facts that, I think all the fans can actually, make out that there is a pause, there isn't any progress going on. So people are just, using just different words but conveying the same meaning. So it's just a very complicated and unclear situation to be in.
Yeah, we're going to dive into everything right now. So whoever's in the chat, get your opinions in, get your comments in. We're going to read them out and let us know how you feel about this takeover situation. Are you absolutely, like Sam, completely fed up with it? Well, Sam and Trey are completely fed up with it. Or is there still hope? Is there still percentage in the tank? I'd love to hear it. So get your comments and we'll read them out very shortly. But yeah, we've been starved of takeover news up until now. And the reports that Mike Keegan is putting out is basically that Manchester United takeover discussions remain ongoing, with the Glazers continuing to talk with a number of parties. Concerns had been raised that the United sale process might be paused to allow the Glazers to reassess their options. However, the current situation is that discussions are continuing with a number of groups with a view to a full sale or partial investment. There remains a confidence among some close to Sheikh Jassim bid that they will win the race to buy Manchester United. However, neither group is thought to have got close to the $6 billion that the Glazers are reportedly seeking. And that is significant, obviously, Sam, in terms of what they want. But Mike Keegan's been relatively good on the takeover front from everything that I've seen. So this is relatively interesting to get that kind of update, if you will, innit?
Yeah, the only issue I have is there's a lot of buzzwords that have been thrown around that don't mean a whole lot, but the people like to use, like confidence from this side, or a willingness to get this deal done, or not giving up. Like a lot of this stuff, that it doesn't really mean anything because we don't know anything. Most journalists don't know anything and are making educated guesses. I think Mike Keegan probably knows a bit more than most because he seems to have been the one who's broken most stuff and been mostly
he's certainly up there in the circle with
spot on. Yeah. Whereas a lot of who was the one who put out about it being paused? Who was the journalist?
I can't remember the paper that put it out. I thought it was Daily Mail.
iPaper Sport, and I've not seen anything from them on the takeover at all over the last 10 months, 9 months that's been going on. So
yeah, God knows. Yeah.
It's a bit difficult to judge how accurate their sources would be and how much they actually know. The only people who seem to actually know what's going on is the places like Reuters and Bloomberg because they've got tidings in the business world. and they have connections to the stock market and takeovers and acquisitions.
But on that, Sam, Reuters were the ones who said that Qatar had exclusivity, didn't they? So
they did say exclusivity. They said, I can't remember the phrase they used, but a lot of people reported it as them reporting exclusivity, but what the wording they actually used was something a bit different. So I think people got a bit carried away with it. But yeah, there was a lot of buzzwords from Mike Keegan in there, so I'm like, take it for what it is. If it makes you think that they're going to be sell the club soon, then cool. Like, add that to your arsenal, and I hope you're right. But honestly, we don't know anything at this point. Like, the only people who know what's going to happen are the Glazers, because Sheikh Jassim doesn't seem to know what's going on. Sir Jim doesn't seem to know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. The players, the staff, the people at the club, like, nobody seems to know what's going on. Just the Glazers do. So until they either decide that they're willing to take a lower fee, like under the 6 billion they were looking for, or somebody comes in with a bid higher than that, I think they stay. So I think I think, do you know that thing where you just sort of, there's the business technique, isn't there? When you tell someone a price, the technique is you don't say anything until they say something. I think that's like a negotiation tactic for like salespeople and stuff like that. So I think that's what they're doing. They've basically go, okay, we got your bids, thank you for that, and they've just gone quiet. And I think they're hoping one of them comes back in with more money to get it done. But obviously they're not doing that, because Sheikh Jassim said, this is my last bid on the table, and he's said, if you want to continue, then respond to that. If not, that's what it is, and take it or leave it. So Jim has structured it a different way, but again, they're still not getting the money they want, so they've not taken that either. And then there's also the legal issues possibly surrounding that. So I think it's a case of, until somebody offers them over the 6 billion, they're going to stay. And I think that's how it's going to be.
It's interesting, isn't it, Shreyas? Because people are interpreting this and they take news and they kind of make of it what they will. Do you think we can basically take this as you can still buy, but you have to hit that £6 billion figure? And at this point, should Qatar just give them what they want, or is it more of a standpoint in business for them?
I think, once again, whoever puts in that 6 billion bid, I think they end up, getting the ownership of the club. From a fan's perspective, yes, I would want Qatar to like step in, just give the 6 billion and get this, whole story actually over with. But I still think that, from the business perspective and how Qatar actually do when it comes to financial dealing, I really don't think that they'll come in with the 6 billion bid unless, a situation completely different arises and we see a completely different person entering into the race, putting a bid higher than them. Then maybe they will escalate their bid. But I think as far as I know, and as far as things stand, their bid is much better than Sir Jim Ratcliffe's. They know that they are, when it comes to the options that the Glazers have, they are putting in the best option available to them right now. It may not be 6 billion, but it is better than the other options that are available to them right now. So I really don't think that they'll, go in with the 6 billion mark, because we can just see that, they don't want to overpay by that much of a margin. They are overpaying already. They don't want to go to that 6 billion mark.
Yeah, we've just had an update now, actually, from Ben Jacobs, who's been really, really good on this takeover situation. And he said those close to the sellers of Manchester United insist that Sheikh Jassim's bid are behind the delays in the sale process. So, but according to them, it's Sheikh Jassim's fault why this is dragging on at the moment.
That sounds like a Glazer spin. It
does.
Yeah.
It does. It certainly does. But how could they be behind it? Because are they doing maybe these tests behind closed doors with the what's it called, the official director's test? I can't remember what the actual name for it is, but they have to go through these kind of sanctions of things. And I know that if Sheikh Jassim was to take over, that would take longer for him to take over in comparison to Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Like, his would be done a lot quicker because of certain things going on. So maybe that is, but again, like you said there, Sam, that seems a bit like a Glazer mouthpiece thing to do, doesn't it?
I think the Glazers are just sort of dragging it out because they hope they're going to get more money, and they know that fans are getting anxious, and I think they're worried about the potential of like mass protests in the beginning. I know the 1958 are starting up their protesting, so I think they're worried about that on the opening because the first game of the season's at home. So I think they're worried about that potential thing. I think they wanted to get the Adidas thing in the door and get the money from that. Because that's
do you think, just quickly on that, do you think they make money from that? Like, I know they do. That was a stupid question. I don't mean like that. I mean, like, do you think that they would have took money from that deal instantly as soon as that got announced? Could that be a factor?
Maybe
20 million quid.
Maybe there was like a bonus payment or a signing fee or something like that. Maybe there was something into it where they're like, okay, we've got that, and then it's another option again. So if they did decide to stay, they've got that. They know they've got that money for the next 10 years rolling in. Yeah, like they're gonna get that every year, like clockwork. So they know that's there. So I think they wanted to get that done, and then I just think they're delaying it, and then they're like, we're gonna have a mass protest. People are gonna be kicking off because the sale thing's been going on for nearly a year now. I think they're worried about that, so I think they needed to put some sort of spin out, and I think that's exactly what that is. They're putting a spin out there, going, let's just put some out there, feed something to Ben Jacobs or the CBS people. I think it's who he works for. Feed that to them because it's an American. Output, isn't it, CBS? So it would make sense that the Glazers fed that to them because I'm sure they have connections in the American media. So I think that's what they've put out, and it's like, all right, we could take the heat off us a little bit, put their spin, and just say, oh yeah, it's their fault, it's not ours, it's not ours. That might be me being a conspiracy theorist, but yeah.
No, it makes sense, complete sense to me. The sticking line, Trey, as is Qatar still confident. Would you be as confident if the process had taken this long? And do you think they'll make another bid? Is there potential in your mind for them to make another bid?
I think if something like this actually had to come out, it would have been concrete and it would have been communicated by now. That I think it would have happened. Second, I really find it hard to believe that Qatar will actually come in. Qatar will actually put another bid in, because if they had to, they would have done it by now. Like the last time we heard Qatar actually, going in for a bid, I think it's been over like a couple of months now.
Early June, won it late May. I think the last one went in the 5th.
Exactly. And now today is the 2nd of August. So there's been quite some time that has, gone, before this bid, and now that, stuff is actually coming out. Because to be honest, the last time that bid from the the Qatari side actually went in, that is the last time we actually heard anything about this takeover. After that, it was like complete blackout on this whole takeover story. No one knew anything. There was no reports coming out of any outlet. And today we are seeing certain things. There were rumors that things are going to probably get a little fast tracked once the preseason tour ends. But I still don't think that Qatar will actually come in with another bid unless something completely different happens. I think in the ideal case, in the best case scenario, Qatar don't come in with another bid. They know that they're front runners. They know if, as things stand, they will win. So
no one else is going to come in with another offer at this
point. No one. No. If people are hesitating that much to actually put bids in, it just means they don't have the financial power to actually match what Qatar is actually paying right now.
Yeah, because I think what the Rain Group has said to them is, I don't know if you mentioned this yesterday, Sam. They basically said you can get 10 billion or 8 to 10 billion. Like, United is such an attractive proposition. There's going to be loads of bidders. It's going to bump the price up. You're going to get loads of money. And then in reality, it's like, well, Qatar will buy it, but it's not nowhere near the figures that you thought they're going to buy it for. So it's either meet in the middle ground or be stubborn and then stay for another year, unfortunately.
I also think Qatar wanted to set out their stall early, because if they were to take over the club and they overpaid and paid whatever the Glazers want, they were just like, yeah, here's the money, fine. They then go in behind when they have to go in for like transfers or anything like that, because then they're like, well, these guys just chucked money at the club until they got it. We can fleece them for all their fucking worth.
Exactly.
So I think they wanted to set that out first. That's their stance. Like, we're not going to be bullied into overpaying crap. Also, I think the way the sort of Islam and Muslims do business, it's all about face saving and feeling like you have the control and it's on your thing, and people will walk away from deals, even though it might only be a matter of like a couple of hundred or a few thousand, because that's when they've made their stake and gone, this is what I'm prepared to pay. I'm not going to go beyond that just to save face. They're not going to go beyond that, even if they could, and it would just get the deal done, because they've said publicly, this is how much we're willing to pay. They're not going to go beyond that, even though they could probably afford it. They just don't want to be seen as weak to the Glazers. I think that's exactly part of it.
It's funny how they've put in NDAs, and then as soon as like news comes out, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's Sheikh Jassim's fault, by the way. Why it's not? Why it's not moving on?" Well, tell us why. If you're gonna put it out there, tell us why it's their fault.
The Glazers
what is it that's taking?
The Glazers aren't under NDAs though, are they? It's just the other. It's just
no, of course not.
So they can say what they want.
But it's like you guys can't say anything, but as soon as we want to put something out, that's absolutely fine. Like, get to fuck.
It might not even be true, but we can do anything we want.
Yeah, basically, pretty much. If we do, should we read out some more comments and then we'll move the show on because there's loads to talk about. A few quick comments.
Lucky Singh, if Avram Glazer wants more money, he should go to 9-2 Direct for 6.1. Is that an Indian reference, Shreyas? 9-2 Direct?
I really don't think. I don't know.
No, 9-2 Foundation, is it not alluding to?
9-2 Direct.
I think so, yeah.
Is that what it is?
I think so, yeah.
I think, yeah.
There's a City fan in the chat. And he's laughing, so fair enough. It's all right, mate. It's
115.
All right, mate. Yeah, you've got 115 things to laugh about, so go enjoy that. Kush Patel, I am back. Welcome back, Kush. Nice to see you. Lucky Singh, fans will rip out the Old Trafford seats once the first game starts, talking a load of crap. Agree, and yeah, 92 Foundation. Your place in the Cosmos, Gray's here. On a brighter note, how are you doing, guys? Absolutely fantastic, mate. After that news that I've read today, amazing. I hope you're well as well, Gray. I hope you're good.
I got dragged into watching Barbie today, Gray, so I'll make of that what you will.
He's still alive. Yeah. He's not killed himself. So
I'm there. I think Margot Robbie got me through it, to be honest with you. Yeah. So
that's all. That's
it. Sorry. I thought there was something after that. If anyone's put a joking about, you're more than welcome to. Right, let's move the show on then. Amrabat. There's been a couple of updates coming out from Fabrizio Romano on Amrabat. There was a few things that came out. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. A couple of quotes saying that he don't know he might stay. Apparently, these are false or the fake. He's never said that. He has no doubts. He said yes to Manchester United. He wants to move. He's had loads of bids from Saudi Arabia, but he's kind of blocked them off because he just wants Manchester United. And United will prepare their official bid to Fiorentina for Sofyan Amrabat very soon. Sources expect the deal to be worth around 28 to 30 million euros. But the question I wanted to ask you, Treyas, there's been talks for 20 to 25 for Donny van der Beek. Does that sound like a bit of nonsense to you? Does that sound like a lot? Because a lot of us were saying like maybe just a loan, weren't they?
The last I actually heard was that Real Sociedad was interested in actually taking him in on loan, and United were going to act on it. If Donny can go for 20-25 million, I would actually take that. Genuinely, for a player who hasn't featured in the past 6 to 7 months, hasn't played a game, even during his time, hasn't really impressed that much, wasn't able to get opportunities, just wasn't able to, even leave his mark at this club. You would take like 20-25 million for him easily. And I think if Donny does leave, I think United still have the cash to actually pull off this Amrabat deal. Even if Donny or Fred don't leave, I think this deal is going to happen either way. Like, Amrabat will be a Manchester United player this season. If Donny does end up leaving, of course, it gives us more fluidity as to, when we rotate and, how our midfield line is actually going to be looking next season when it comes to the bench strength as well. But I think Donny leaving or Fred leaving, whoever has to leave, I think right now, we just need to get these players off the bill. We just need to, as much cash as we can actually, take from them. We just need to take that. Because I still think, I don't know why, but I still think that we have one more transfer left in us. Like after Amrabat as well, I think there's one transfer that we will still go for. I don't know who it will be.
Could be a backup keeper, or whoever it is.
It could be anyone, but I still think that we have one more transfer left in us.
Absolutely, I agree with that. And apparently, Sam, we've lowered Fred's price because of this bid as well. What do you make of that?
I mean, I hate that we're lowering prices for players.
Not great, is it?
Like, I think we should be trying to get as much as possible for the players. Like, City have just sold another fucking youth player who's never played for the first team to Ajax for what?
15 million or something.
15 million?
17.
And we're selling Fred for less than that? Like,
crazy,
make it make sense. Like, make it make sense. Like,
yeah.
I don't think Donny's worth 20 to 25 million, but if we can get 25 million for him, fucking result, mate. I'm down with that shit.
Yeah,
that's Amrabat's price, isn't it?
Exactly. Like, get that.
Exactly.
Get that done. Yeah. But the Fred thing annoys me because I think if this was not United, he'd be 20 million minimum. Like if somebody, if City was selling him or Arsenal was selling him or anybody else in the Premier League in the top sort of 6, 7, and he was going to Galatasaray, they'd be demanding 20 million for him. And
He's a 20 million player.
That's what I mean.
Easy.
And we're dropping the price. So it's like if we stuck to our guns and actually sold people for like a decent value, 20 for Fred, 25 for Donny, and then say 40 to 45 for Scott McTominay, that's like 80 to 85 million.
Yeah.
And it's like there's Amrabat done, and then there's a thing for another player, like 45 million. Like,
do you think after Amrabat that'll be it, Sam?
Unless we do significant sales, like I've just said. Say, I know we're going to get on to Maguire later.
Yeah.
Say he goes, McTominay goes, Donny, Fred. So obviously we'll need another midfielder there to come in. I think Mainu steps up as the other guy. Maybe he goes for a centre back, but obviously there's a bit of news that Todibo's possibly going to Juve. Juve have put in interest.
I'm not seeing that.
Just seen that like about an hour ago.
Yeah.
Juventus are looking at Todibo and been asked to keep updated. So that's, I know Diassi's already gone. We lost Kim Min Jae. Pau Torres has gone to Villa, so centre back options are looking a bit light on the table at the minute.
Timber as well.
Timber. So centre back options are looking a bit light. But I mean, the worst thing that could happen is if we don't get centre back and Maguire does go, then Luke Shaw can cover, and I say promote Alvaro Fernandez. That's what I would do. Because
you got Johnny Evans as well who can step in.
I totally forgot about that. You could sign him for a year deal. Worst comes to the worst, but if we sell well, I think we could get another player in. I think Amrabat's a definite. I think that's 99% probably going to happen. But if we sell well, I don't see why not. I know Ten Hag mentioned in press conferences that they're always looking for talent and they always want to bring in people, and investing in the squad is so important. Like he said that about 4 or 5 times on this tour, that squad investment is so important and recruitment is very, very important, and he's doing everything he can. So he clearly is not happy yet. He clearly wants more in the door. So I wouldn't see why not if we get the money and the right player comes available.
Because you're looking at other teams around him. I think we're going to get into teams and individual players when we do our FPL review towards the end of the show. But I think this season's going to be so fucking tough. I think it's going to be so competitive with the teams around us. So he's absolutely spot on in the recruitment that we need to bring in the right players. And Amrabat probably isn't enough to compete with these guys. Like City have just won a treble. They've signed Kovacic, they're signing Gvardiol, and they've probably signed a few others who I can't think of.
Well, they've lost a lot of players as well, though. Important players. Like Mahrez is gone. Gundogan's gone. Bernardo Silva is possibly going to go. Like, there's a bunch of people.
He's leaving every single window. So.
Good point. But like,
he will go eventually.
They're looking at the Guardiola's almost through the door, and apparently they're looking at Eze from Palace to replace Mahrez, I think.
I've heard Doku as well, Jeremy Doku from League One.
They can go in for anyone they want.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll get whoever.
Yeah. But Saudi's kind of turned this whole transfer window on its head, hasn't it? Like, it's totally changed everything, because all these players you think Chelsea would be going for, United, City, etc., Saudi have picked them up. There's Osimhen has been made an offer from Saudi Arabia, apparently.
Yeah, 140 million.
So he could go. I've just seen as well an unnamed club has come in for Moises Caicedo from Saudi Arabia as well.
80 million I heard.
So it's changed things. It's changed things a lot.
Yeah, especially bargain as well when you're trying to sell players. They're like, well, Saudi's there. And that's why I thought Fred's price might be pushed up, because he said this club's interested in Saudi, club's interested, the Fulham's interested, and then Galatasaray. But I suppose it's on the player's preference in it. Like, if they want to go there, then it's kind of like, well, you have to sell them to that club, to the buyer in that sense. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with Amrabat. It is very hot at the minute, but we have to wait for someone to move on, and sometimes that could take a while, can't it? So we'll move it on again. Read out a couple of comments if we can, please, Sam, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, your place in the cosmos. Thanks, Sam. Oh, good brother. Good to hear, mate. Lucky saying, Fred, yes. Donny, yes. We just need offers. 13 million and 24 million. I think 13 million is so low for Fred. Honest to God, like I think that's ridiculous. So low. Yeah. And I don't. If Real Sociedad are willing to pay 20 to 25 million for Donny, I think they're smoking crack, because like that's insane.
That is the kind of offer I was actually expecting for Fred, like 20 to 25 million.
Yeah, that'd make sense. Like for Fred, like 25 million for Donny. I'm like, really? Okay.
Anyway. Because if you evaluate last season, it was one of Fred's better seasons. Perhaps one of his most,
is a useful player.
Was the most active.
Yeah,
of the midfielders that we want going out, of all the three, like McTominay, Fred, and Donny, the one I'd want to keep is Fred.
Yeah,
Of the
exactly.
three.
Yeah.
So there you go. Lucky saying, I hope offers come today. Rocco Blue glazes out. Absolutely, mate. Always. Luke Shaw said many times before, if we want to be big again, we need 2 or 3 players. Yeah, he's been talking a lot, Luke Shaw. I like it. I like the stuff that's been coming out of Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I've just put up, I forgot to put it at the beginning of the show, I've put up the graphic for the Fantasy Football League. That is the code in the bottom left corner. So if you want to join a fantasy league, whatever fantasy league app you use, me and Nick use the Premier League app. I think Shreyas uses a different type of app. Go to join leagues, and then when it asks you to enter that code, put that code in. That is J5AMSC, all lowercase. Enter that, and you can join our league, and you get a chance to win a retro shirt. So yeah, join us.
Yeah. Also, where are all my members at? I know Grey 100's in the chat. Prabav, Chloe Rhodes, Rubber, Shah Sam, Brian Casey, Amy Rourke, Aaron, Brandon, Mark. Where are we at?
Yeah.
Where are we at?
There's 22 people in the chat, and they're all quiet. What's going on?
Very, very quiet. Right, we're going to move on to a slightly different topic, Mason Greenwood. An announcement on Mason Greenwood's future is now a matter of days or even the next hours, basically. That's coming out from Fabrizio Romano. Again, been a very busy boy today. Look, we've made our feelings clear on the situation numerous times, so we want to more get your opinions on this situation, people in the chat, without it kind of developing into an argument or something.
Be respectful.
Shit, so,
be respectful.
Yeah, be respectful. Yeah. But do you think if we do bring him back, that's going to be the topic of this the season, isn't it? Like if he starts to integrate back into the squad, gets playing time, that's going to be the media circus for the next year, right?
Yeah, I think it was. I think that all signs point to him being put back in the squad.
Yep.
That's what I feel. I think they were waiting for that Adidas deal to be cleared because I think Adidas had reservations about sponsoring United with Mason Greenwood and the possible attention that it could bring to them. And then once that deal got ironed out and sorted, I think they were like, right, we can put him back in now. We've got that deal sorted. We've got a kit deal done. I know Team Viewer are continuing on for now. I know they want to get out, but apparently they can't exit the contract until a new sponsor's been found. That's equivalent or more, something like that. So they're going to continue on. So I think they were just waiting for that, and now they've got that. I think he gets reintegrated back into the squad because there's going to be a decision made before the 14th of August, which is when we play our first game of the season. And now, once that kit sponsorship got announced the other day, now they're saying it's a matter of days and hours before he gets announced. So
they already know.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think they were waiting for that kit thing. They'll go, okay, we've got that.
Surprised stuff has been leaked with United, Sam.
Yeah.
Usually we hear something, don't we?
I think they're keeping everything under tight wraps at the minute. I think everything's under like lock and key. I think as well you prepare for the shitstorm because anytime we go away to another ground, it is going to be loud. It's going to be abusive. There's going to be some chance that if they're aimed at Mason Greenwood, absolutely fine because he's deserving them. But I don't want to hear chants about the victim, about the people involved in the case and stuff like that. That's unfair.
Dragging other people into it as well.
That's unfair. Like that shouldn't happen, but it's going to because you've put that guy in the spotlight now who doesn't deserve to be in the spotlight, and you've put him in the spotlight. Like everybody goes, oh, people deserve a second chance. They do, but you've got to think about football is so much different to a guy being a plumber. Like if he's a plumber, you haven't got the world's media following this plumbing company every single day, creating company and money from it. Like journalists and media organizations make money from covering Manchester United. Like that's how they make money. Like this is what we do. We make content for Manchester United, and that's what's going to happen. So you've got the world media on him, which is just going to expose it and blow it up even further than it ever needs to be. And United are just doing it because all they see is money. They don't care about morality. They don't care about the victims. They don't care about fans or women fans who are in the stand who are going to have to watch this guy play, knowing what he did. It's just going to be, But I do think if he scores a couple of goals, I think 90% of the fans will forget about it and just carry on like nothing happened. Because people have got short memories and that's how it'll go, unfortunately. I won't forget, and I won't ever support the guy, and I won't ever clap for him or celebrate anything he does for Manchester United. But 90% of the fans do once he scores a hat-trick in a game, or he scores a bunch of goals, they'll forget very, very quickly. And it's sad, man. It's really sad.
Well, you just give me a perfect segue for Shreyas there, because I was going to ask you two questions, Shreyas. Do you think people will soon forget if he starts scoring? And do you think the timeout that he's had will affect his level of play? Because obviously, prior to all this, a very, very talented striker looked like he had the world at his feet. Do you think the time off he's had will affect that as well?
I think it definitely will. Like for any player, for the time period that he's been out, it will take him time to actually, get up to speed. If things actually pan out in his direction and he manages to actually, secure his place in this team, I still think that it would be a very wrong call by the side of the club if it does happen. I think already, all our players, they are in the limelight and they're one of the biggest hit targets when it comes to the media. Like, even if the slightest of things happen, you can see our players on the, front cover. If something like this happens and then a player comes back and then he, starts to play regularly again, it will bring a focus which is not needed towards us. And that is something that I'm worried about, because we've still got so many youngsters, we've got so many players at this club who I don't think would deserve that, because of just one player. They have been, brought into something that is completely out of context, but it will happen because they play for the same team. And I think, obviously, when it comes to his footballing ability, like most of us were fans of him before everything actually, just went abruptly and whatever happened. But you just can't undo that. When something like this and something of this magnitude actually happens, you cannot just turn a blind eye to it. I do believe that, most of the fan base, a major chunk of this fan base would forget. Like, he comes in, he manages to score in goals. A major chunk of the fan base would forget it. But I think there would still be a part of the fan base which would not. So I think it will definitely, I think Mason Greenwood is a topic which will create a big divide in this fan base, especially this next season.
And particularly for that reason, that's why I just don't want him coming back. I would have preferred for him to go out on loan, get minutes and do your thing and then sell him. Simple. Is Samuel
muted?
Sorry. I will say one thing. Like, everybody, I know Twitter's not real life because we've seen the result of Twitter. Like, it's absolute bollocks. But most people online and most people like talking about it are saying, "Oh, he deserves to come back. He should be back." Blah blah blah. 99% of people on Twitter talking about this. I've never been to Old Trafford. Don't go to games. Don't go regularly to games. Never have been to Old Trafford and stuff like that. And they're talking about it from a completely removed perspective. Not that you're not a fan. Not that you're not. Because Shreyas has never been to Old Trafford, but you're still a fan.
That's circumstantial, though, isn't it? Like India. You know what I mean?
But like, we go to games, me and Unit, quite regularly. We've got people who are friends who are season ticket holders, etc. It's a very different type of crowd who goes to Old Trafford regularly, who's a season ticket holder. They're very different people from the fans online or on Twitter who just watch clip highlights and don't cover it and don't look into anything beyond transfers and if we've scored a hat-trick and stuff like that. So I think it's a very different thing. So it will be, Aaron said in the chat, it will be interesting to see how the crowd within Old Trafford reacts to the news. That's going to be a very different story, I feel, because everybody online is going, "Oh, he should be back, because it doesn't affect them. They don't go to games, they don't care." But it's going to be very different to how the fans react. I just think, why I don't understand why United would give themselves that headache. Like, just save yourself the headache. Send him on loan, sell him, really, whatever it is you need to do. Just save yourself the headache, man. Like, it doesn't make sense to me from a PR perspective and a fucking admin perspective, the shit they're gonna have to deal with. Just save yourself from it.
Yeah, it is a very hot topic at the minute, and I think he is going to come back. Just my personal kind of hunch. I do think he's going to be back. How are they going to go about it? I mean, they've probably been working on some kind of PR package for the past months or so. If they are going to do that, I imagine. And you know what you're going to get from the away fans. You know exactly what you're going to get from them, whatever club it is. And I think there's going to be some of it inside the stadium as well. Certainly, if I'm at a game, I will be showing my kind of feelings in that situation. So.
I won't be applauding. I won't be celebrating his name. Do you know when they announce the players out and everybody goes, "Ray!"
Exactly.
Like, I ain't
that
doing
alone,
that shit. I ain't doing that shit. Like, I'm not so. Also, he has been out of the game for like 2 years. He's not going to start against Wolves. Just put it up. Like, he's not starting against Wolves. Like, it's going to be. what, 6 months before he's even up to the standard, maybe?
I don't, because no one knows what standard he's on at the minute. That's the thing. Like, he's been training.
But
I know Elanga's been training with him.
He's not been playing games though, has he? It's a very different. Game sharpness is very different. Like,
I'm sure they'll say to the manager, like, 10 minutes here and there, 5-10 minutes, get his confidence back, see what the reaction is to him, and then we'll start integrating him into the team.
I feel like, honest to God as well, I feel really sorry for like women fans, because I know we have a lot of sort of female fans for Manchester United who support the men's team, like people who like Alice, who've been on the channel, like my girlfriend, massive United fan. Like, there's going to be people in the crowd who are women, and they've got a guy on the pitch who has raped a woman, and he's playing for Manchester United, and they've got to go and support this team, and then separate him from the team. It's a whole can of worms, man. And also, Aaron put another in the chat. We've got a women's team as well, like a women's United team. How do they feel? They've got to train at the same place as this dickhead.
What does that show to the world as well, if you allow that? Like, if you, of all clubs, Manchester United, the kind of darling of England, if they allow someone like that to come back into the team, it just goes to show, like, money and morals. Well, morals go out the window as soon as football comes into it, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Like, I don't think United should be doing it personally. But we'll move on. I want to talk about Maguire. We mentioned him before. There has been a slight update on this. David Moyes is said to wish to try one more time with Harry Maguire, despite the player's reluctance to join West Ham. Shreyas, will he still stay or go? We won't spend too long on this.
If they come in for 30 million, yes. If they don't, then he stays.
But he says there, despite the player's reluctance to join West Ham. So would you rather be a starter at West Ham or fourth choice at United? That's the question.
That's the thing. I don't even know if he's going to be fourth choice at United. Like,
fifth,
genuinely,
fourth, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
But even if he's fourth or even if he is fifth, he's not going to get game time. And if he is happy to just sit on the bench, maybe playing the odd cup games, then then he'll stay. But if he actually wants to play, first team football, if he wants to get regular minutes, I think he should move to West Ham. I don't see a direction where I see him replacing Varane or replacing Martinez or even Lindelof in that order.
Yeah. Do you record them thoughts, Sam?
Well, if we sign Johnny Evans, he's fucking sixth choice, isn't he?
Yeah. That's a good point.
If it was me, I'm not getting in ahead of Varane. I'm not getting in ahead of Lissandro. I'm not getting in ahead of Lindelof. I thought I'd be fourth choice, but then they decided, we're gonna play Luke Shaw instead of you. So then you're like, a left back's getting in ahead of me, and he's playing better than you. We're gonna sign, how old is Johnny Evans? 36, 35?
35.
We're gonna sign a 35-year-old former player who just played for a club that got relegated, and he's gonna play in front of you. Like, the writing's on the wall, my dude. Like,
take the hint, innit?
Yeah, just fucking leave and go play first team football, because you ain't gonna get it at United. Like, you want to revive your career.
Stay. Yeah, fight. We don't want you to. Sorry, but we don't. Like.
This is what I think. This is why people go, he has to leave. I've gone on about the delusion for so long. Yeah. Like, in his head, he sees something totally different to what's actually happening around it. He thinks, it's just a matter of time. I'm going to fight my way back in it. I'm going to be a starter. And it's like, you're not. Like, you're not. Like, we've just signed. We're going to sign a 36-year-old. What?
Scoreboard just put 7th. You forgot Casemiro.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Casemiro could play there as well. So, like, do you know what I mean? Like, just fucking... Like, Scott McTominay could play centre-back as well, actually. He plays for Scotland.
Choice.
Yeah? Like, see, you know what I mean? So, just,
he's choice now.
I think he's deluded. I think he thinks he's going to fight his way back into the team. It's going to be this heroic story, and it's not. Like, go play first team.
I like the attitude. Yeah. And I like the confidence.
But it's not going to happen.
Again, reality is the main thing that's going on here. Like, just look at the past year. You know he's not going to play you. Ten Hag's, he won't fit in his system. So it's time to move on. And I'll be devastated because if West Ham come back in with actually, a decent offer, and 30, 35 million, you'd be like, yes, buzzing, let's take it. Let's go reinvest it somewhere. But guys like, no. I'm staying. I'm fighting for my place. No, and you're like, fucking hell.
It's the wages, isn't it? That's the issue. The wages are the issue. Like, if they make the right bid, 30, 35 million, cool, we can accept it. But then if they go in and go, we're going to offer you, like, what is he on now? 200k? Are you on at the minute? If they come in and go, we'll offer you 100k, it's like he's got to take half a wage cut. He's not taking that. Like, why would he take that? Like, it's just not going to happen, is it? And they're not going to offer him 200k a week either. So it's like, that's the issue there. That's the problem.
Barry. Well, anyway, let's flip the paradigm from something we're not excited about to something we are definitely going to be excited about, and it's Rasmus Højlund. Not excited about his delay, but his announcement, or the official announcement, it's going to be delayed by 3 days. He arrived later than planned on Tuesday. He was due to meet supporters and conduct activities around his signing today, but that was cancelled, and United are focusing on his medical. Senior United sources believe Rasmus Højlund is a rough diamond who could be developed into one of Europe's football's elite goal scorers under the coaching of Erik Ten Hag. This announcement, Shreyas, I'll go to you first on this. Do you think it'd be similar to Casemiro Varane, bring him out on the pitch? And do you think he plays any of the friendlies or not at this point?
I think that is the major reason, actually, how, the way it is actually progressing, because our game is going to be at Old Trafford. I think it will perhaps be a very nice way to actually, present him in front of the fans. And, he'll actually able to, take a minute and actually just look at the atmosphere that Old Trafford will bring with it. I think he will feature against Bilbao. I don't know whether he'll feature. I don't think that he'll be featuring against Lens. So I think one preseason game he will be there, which is nice as well. That because finally I think the major half of our signings have been done, and at least all of them have played at least one preseason game, which is a good sign. So yeah, I think he plays against Bilbao and he gets presented in the stadium.
Interesting. Again, echo them thoughts. Sam, do you think he will? We're going to need it at least one preseason game with him, aren't we?
Yeah, we definitely need things. So if he's going to be unveiled at the Lens game, I imagine he gets some sort of minutes in Dublin, because I think he'd be stupid not to. Like, we've got 2 games in day one after the other. Like, I think United are back in training today. I believe they flew straight home after the Dortmund game, didn't they? Like that night. And I think they're back in training today. So I imagine he'll be training today with his teammates if he did his medical on Monday or Tuesday. Did his medical?
No, I thought it was yesterday, because it's Wednesday today. What am I about?
So I think he'll probably do some sort of training this week, and then unveil him much like Casemiro and Varane, the way they did that to Old Trafford crowd, and then get the excitement up, and then I think he'll play some sort of part. Whether he starts or not, I don't know, but hopefully he gets minutes Sunday, because it'd be nice to see him. It'd be nice to see him like how he plays and what he looks like and stuff.
Yeah, exciting times. Premier League's only 2 weeks away, I think. Or, well, our game at least is only 2 weeks away. So I think it's Wolves Monday Night Football, innit?
Yeah.
Our first game of the season. So I'm super excited for that.
11 days. 11 days away.
11 days. So that means one thing and one thing only, people. It's time. FPL teams. We have created a league. Sam has kindly put the graphic on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. So if you haven't joined the league yet already, you get the chance to win a retro jersey, a very nice one. If you come first, in the league. So make sure you join that. Create your teams. If you've already got your teams and your team name, drop them in the chat. We'll do a little giveaway for the best team name as well, because it's as you know, with FPL, it's very important you have a nice team name. So who wants to go first through their team?
Let's go with yours, because I got yours first up. So
okay, let's have a look.
Get rid of
Love that. Look at that. Graphics brought to you by Sam McCabe. Lovely.
Nick, talk us through your team, mate. And what is your team name?
My team name, well, I was going to go with something, because usually you go with the funny puns and the different ones. And me and Sam discussed numerous ones. It was like, that probably you can't have that because you'll get banned. This one's quite good. But I thought with it being a real Red Stalk league and with what we're all about, I thought I would call my team the Capybara Kings. As
nice.
It's just one of them.
I
had to go with that. People of the channel, the members will know, but they're the kind of correlation with it. So the Capybara Kings in net have gone with Andre Onana, which will probably come as no surprise to a lot of people. Clean sheets last season, we had the most, despite what goalkeeper we had in net, but we did have the most, and I think Onana is elite, so I thought that was an easy one. Same reason with Wan-Bissaka. I think he's a starter as well as we go into the season, so I think clean sheets will add to that. Wolves at home don't score many goals. Yeah, I can see double points there. Estepinian was fantastic last season. One of the best left backs in the league, in my opinion. Yep. Price of £5 million. Absolutely great. Saliba, one of the best centre backs in the league up until he got injured. And I think with Arsenal bringing in Declan Rice, they'll have a bit more stability.
Yeah.
Botman, we're all fans of Botman. Newcastle, great defensively last season. So that was a no-brainer for me. Then you move into the midfield. I think, and Bruno, because of the absence of Ivan Toney, I think he's going to step up to the plate and be the main man for Brentford. I think Matoma, again, cheap as fuck, wonderful player. Brighton underdeserve it. Just keep growing, and he's a dangerous player. Eze, another one. Zaha's left, gone to Galatasaray. Who's going to be the main man for Crystal Palace? It's going to be Eze on the counter-attack.
Might go to City. Could end up at City.
Yeah, but Eze, as it stands right now, is probably Palace's best player. And I think, again, I was trying to lower the price in midfield so you can have your big hitters. So then Mo Salah, every single year is consistent, always gets loads of points, always gets loads of goals and assists. So that's fine. Haaland, captain. Do we need to say anything, lads? Don't think I do I? No. Darwin Núñez. This one will be a bit controversial, but I think he's had a year under his belt to settle now. I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think he's going to be one of the top goal scorers this season.
If he can start finishing, he's going to be dangerous because he gets in the right positions, makes fantastic runs, great ball control. He just could not finish last season. I just could not.
A bit like Timo, innit? Timo Werner. So he can either go one extreme one way or the other. But I think he's going to score.
If he starts finishing, he's dangerous. He's very dangerous.
Yeah. And then I'll quickly go through the bench. So Martinez of Aston Villa and Pau Torres. Villa are a lot more resolute under Unai Emery. I expect a great campaign from them. Mudryk under Poch, I think he'll flourish. He's looked decent during pre-season. Yeah. And the squad's a lot more trimmed now, so we'll get a lot more game time. And then, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Awayeni, I think it is, for Nottingham Forest. Last season, he had the best minutes to goals conversion, I think it was. So he's right up there with Haaland.
So again,
another cheap, astute striker. Could surprise a few people. So that's why I've gone with that team. Nice. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you think of the team. Put your team names in, if you haven't joined already, and get who you picked as well in the comment section. Who's next?
Shreyas, what is your team name, first of all?
Yeah, so I didn't really put that much time into thinking my team name. And I just saw a sticker on my phone which said your mom. So I put my team name as your mom.
Simple.
Oh, okay.
Simple.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah.
Take that.
Talk us through your team.
Yeah, so in net I had Vicario, the new signing for Tottenham. I think Tottenham are definitely going through a rebuild. They're going through a massive change in, new manager, new signings. They've got some big players leaving. They've got a completely different keeper. So I think as a keeper, he was really good at Empoli. I think that he can bring the same here at Tottenham as well, and probably, could be one of the breakout stars this year. So I had Vicario in net. I had Luke Shaw, because I think arguably one of the best players in the league last season when the season ended. And, one of the most consistent players of our team as well throughout the course of the season, like from the start to the end. So Luke Shaw in there. Lisandro Martinez there, because, he has to be there. There's no explanation for it. I had Trippier, because I think he was one of the best right backs in the league last season. And actually, his set pieces and the way he progressed down that right-hand side got Newcastle a lot of points. Then I had Botman, just like Nick has Botman in his team. Very stable, very calm and composed and solid at the back. In midfield, I had Declan Rice, Bruno Fernandes and Bruno Guimaraes. I think Declan Rice, he takes that spot in that midfield, and I think he takes Arsenal to that next level. Bruno Fernandes, captain of Manchester United, absolute engine, plays week in and week out and delivers quality performances. And now with the striker up top, who genuinely plays at a striker position, I think his output increases as well. Bruno Guimaraes, once again, just like Trippier, very integral to that side. Like the moment Bruno Guimaraes actually, went out of that midfield last season, you could see that drop off in that Newcastle team. He brings that energy and he brings that clinicality in that midfield. So Bruno Guimaraes there. Mitoma, a very cheap player. And I think this season he'll be even better in comparison to what he did last season. And, probably he could be moving on after this season as well. And Brighton will once again be making a lot of money off him. And up top, I've gone with Haaland and Nkunku. I think Nkunku will be a very good signing for Chelsea. And
I was
going to
go with Nkunku.
I was going to say, Nick, why is he not in your team? I thought he would be.
I don't know. I thought Darwin, Nunes, and Kunku. Nunes had a year to settle in, so I thought, fuck it, I'll go with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Nkunku will be a very great signing. Like genuinely in that system that Pochettino wants to play, I think he's a very good player if he wants to play in that system. And Haaland, I think once again, it's a given that he'll win the Golden Boot with the kind of team that actually plays behind him. So Haaland has to be in there. On the bench, I had David Raya, who's moved on to Arsenal. I have Pau Torres. I think Villa could be a dark horse this season. Like genuinely, they can go even higher than what they finished last season. It will be very interesting to see as to how Unai Emery is actually take that team to the next level because they made some really good signings.
Shreyas, I've got to ask about your next bench option. Why? Why is he on the bench?
It was it.
I had Saka on my bench.
That's it. Saka on his bench.
Saka on your bench.
What's he doing?
I put Saka in over Guimaraes or Rice. I put Saka's going to get more points.
Yeah, like I said, I made this team in quite a hurry. I wasn't able to put players in then.
Subs. Subs.
Yeah. But I think even as a super sub, he wouldn't really hurt that much.
And also, make sure you play this season, Trey.
Yeah,
because you got a couple of weeks in, and you was like, "Fuck this! I'm not doing this anymore. I can't be arsed." So make sure you stick with it.
I made a massive mistake last season. I didn't know that you actually get negative points for actually switching your entire team. So I went to negative 30 or negative 40 last season by this game week 3 or 4. So it was a very bad time for me last season. This season I'll definitely play and win as well. Yeah. And lastly I had Nicholas Jackson. Like I think by far what I've seen, from what I'm seeing from Chelsea in this preseason, Ian Maatsen and Nicholas Jackson have been like absolutely brilliant players for them on the pitch. And I think just like you mentioned with Darwin Núñez, I think Nicholas Jackson could also be one of the top, goal getters in the league this season. Like he's very good when it comes to finishing off his chances. And with Nkunku playing behind him, and Enzo Fernandez, and probably maybe whether it's Moises Caicedo or whether whoever is actually playing that defensive line with, behind him, I think he'll be a top signing for Chelsea.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Tommy's in the chat and his team name is Gross Misconduct, as in Pascal Gross. I like it.
Yeah, we had so many ideas, didn't we?
Some of them can't be named.
Can't be used, some of them. But get your team names. There's 25 people in the chat. If you want to join, the code isn't on the screen at the minute, but rewind back a couple of minutes or whatever, and it should be on there. Yeah. So, make sure you...
I'll repaste it in the chat. Let's put that in.
We'll put it on now because there's 25. If you want to join the league, chance to win a retro jersey at the end of the season if you're first. And you win, and that'll get delivered to you. So make sure you join the league. We had 190, I think it was.
Something like
that. Last season, something like that. So yeah, we want to make it even bigger this time. So especially to the members as well. If you want to join the league, the code is up on the screen, or should be in a minute.
Right, let's go to my team, shall we? I think there's a common theme in our team, all our teams. Okay. Pau Torres is in every single one of our teams. So
yeah.
There you go.
I like it. Go on.
I am continuing my theme of never selecting a Liverpool player ever. Like I will never ever put a Liverpool player in my fantasy football team, just so you know. So if you wonder why I've not selected Salah or Virgil van Dijk or anything like that, I will never put a Liverpool player in. So just forget about it. Anyways, I have gone with Ederson, as I think I would have picked Alisson, but I can't pick Liverpool players. I think next to Alisson, Ederson's the next best goalkeeper in the league. Yeah. City don't concede that many goals, so I think he's always a safe hit. I was thinking about Andre Onana, but then my other 3 United players, I wanted him more, so I thought also Onana's a bit of a risk with the way he plays. I think he could concede a couple, but we'll see. Kieran Trippier, because like most people have said, I think he was one of the best right backs in the league last season. I think he was absolutely fantastic. Everything he did, he was captain of Newcastle as well, I believe. I thought he was fantastic, and I'm a bit gutted that we didn't manage to buy him. I don't
know why I didn't get him in my team. No. I'm gonna have to put him in.
I think he's great. We've spoke about Pau Torres. I really rate him as a centre back. I thought he's great, so he's straight in the team. Yeah. And then Luke Shaw, for the similar reasons that Shreyas put him, one of our best players last season, absolute leader. He can play multiple positions and is fantastic, so he has to go in. Kevin De Bruyne, because best midfielder on the planet, I would argue. I don't think there's a better guy than him, so he has to go in. Bruno Guimaraes, as saying, played absolutely fantastically this season, one of Newcastle's best players. And then I've put Tonali next to him. I really, really like Tonali, but that could be a bit of a risk. So he might come out depending on like how the first couple of games go.
But one thing I will say, you're probably more likely to get more points out of Tonali than Guimaraes, because Guimaraes will play as a 6, whereas Tonali plays more as an 8.
Yeah.
There's like a misconception around Tonali. More people seem to think he plays as a 6, but he doesn't. He's more.
But he's not very happy to come to Newcastle, it seems. He didn't want to leave Milan.
Yeah, he's not.
He didn't want to leave Milan, so it could be a risk. But we'll see what happens. We've got Casemiro in there. Hopefully he sorts out his suspensions, because I can't be doing with him being suspended every week. Then he'll have to come out of the team. So he's it's risky. Harry Kane, just if he does stay in the Premier League, whether Spurs are shit or not, he's going to score 25 plus. That's just what he does. And if we get a cheeky bid for him, then even better. Haaland, just because he's going to score, like, get your goals easy. Yeah. And then I've put João Pedro in from Brighton.
I like that shout.
Brighton are very, very good at identifying talent, and they made a move for him. I think even before the season finished, they got him in and made a move for him and paid. I think they paid a decent chunk of change for him as well. So they clearly rate
30 million, 25, 30 million.
So they rate a guy highly, and Brighton play fantastically well. So I think he could be a shout of like dark horse striker. I think he could get something. I've put James Trafford in there. I don't know why. I just needed a spare goalkeeper, but
sorry, James.
Yeah. I've got Romero from Spurs as my backup centre back. Again, risky because of the yellow cards.
Red cards.
Yeah, I think he's good though. Yeah. I think he's a good. He's a good player.
Right.
I got Kobe Mainoo on my bench as well. I might change him out depending on how long he's out for. If he's out for a bit longer than 2 months, I might change him out. But I think he's going to play a massive part for Manchester United this season. I think he's going to have a lot of games, and I think he'd have a big impact. And then my backup sort of defender is the guy you have as well, Nick Estepan. I think he's Estepinian.
Quality.
I think he's quality player, absolutely fantastic, and I could easily just rotate him in as and when needed. I think he's fantastic. I've put Kane as my captain, but it should be Haaland. But I'll fix that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I like
I'm shocked
it.
There is no Garnacho in this team.
Yeah, that's
he's
a good
not
point.
going to start. Yeah. He's not going to start enough for me. I don't think he'll start many games.
Maybe. But Kobe Mainoo's out for the first couple of months. That's maybe, I don't know. It's an interesting one. But look, everyone's made the decisions for a certain reason. I've got fucking Darwin Núñez in my team, Mudryk on the bench. So, yeah, sometimes you look at teams at the start and you're like, that's not going to do anything. And then just players surprise you. That's what it doesn't always go the routine way. Sometimes Kane's a slow starter, doesn't score in August, and you're just like, what the fuck's going on? So yeah, make sure you send us screenshots of your teams, and if you do send us, we'll put them up on the screen in the next show, or when we next do kind of an FPL review or whatever.
Yeah, you've got to think as well. You got to play the long game of fantasy football. Like, you might be like, sort of first couple of weeks, you might be getting absolutely blitzed, but like, play the long game. Like you said, Kane short, slow starter, but he will score 25 goals in the end. And then injuries happen, people get suspended, etc. Like, it's all part of the thing. But Tim is saying I couldn't stomach Haaland at first, so I suffered last year. Yeah, people didn't jump on the Haaland train, man. They should have jumped on it and got it sorted. Prabhav is in the chat. Evening, lads. Evening to you, Prabhav. Hope you're well, mate. Jarlamay saying Darwin is a good choice this year, but none of you had Odegaard. I'm surprised by that. Yeah, I probably would have put Odegaard in, to be honest with you.
I like Odegaard, but like I said, I wanted to get the big hitters, so I went for the cheaper options in Matoma, Eze, and I can't remember the one, whatever it was. So I could bring in your Salahs.
After Haaland, I didn't have enough to actually.
Once you buy Haaland, your budget's basically fuck all, so you like shopping Poundland after that.
I had Haaland and De Bruyne, so my budget took a devastating hit.
But them two consistently throughout the full season will just hit them points, like top assist, top goals, so you're absolutely guaranteed with that.
Originally, I had Rashford in my team too, but then the only striker option that was left for me was Weghorst, so I had to get Rashford out of the team immediately.
Will any of you consider bringing in someone like a Rasmus Højlund if he's quite cheap?
If he starts well for United, I might
why
draft
not?
him in.
Yeah, because I don't know what his price will be, but I can't imagine it'll be loads because he's still a young kid coming to United.
Yeah,
first time in the Premier League, first ever appearance in the Premier League. I think maximum. Yeah.
Shah Sam saying Gakpo could bring a couple of points. Yeah, Gakpo's a good
Gakpo.
shout. It's a very good shout. But Shah Sam,
I really wish we got Gakpo.
But Shah Sam, with my rule, I do not put any Liverpool players in, so he will not be in my team.
Yeah. Well, you're making me feel like
I
shit
won't put
now.
any Liverpool players in.
I don't care. I'm in it to win, mate. I'll be savage. I don't give a fuck. I want to win this. So I'll have players, City players in there, Liverpool players. Don't care.
I've got City players because I'm not a fucking idiot. Like, if I don't put City players in either, I'm just fucking destroying myself. Like, it's just not.
Like, I'm not having any City players, any Arsenal players, any Liverpool players, players at the bottom of the table.
Exactly. Like, so I've got to bend on some things. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna get the fixtures up just for the start of the season because I know who we're playing, of course, but I don't know who everybody else is playing. So let me just get a quick refresher.
By the way, I didn't reveal my team name. My team name is the Martial Matter LP.
Yeah, that's very good. Marshall Mathers, for anyone who's a bit, gone straight over the head.
Yeah.
Marshall Matter LP. Get creative with him.
The other choices I had, like Nick said, we couldn't, and I'd probably get banned, so I couldn't put them on.
Definitely would get banned for some of them. So yeah, we kick it off with Manchester City versus Burnley. You've got Arsenal versus Forest on TNT Sports on a Saturday. Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton, Luton, Everton and Fulham. Sheffield United, Palace, Newcastle versus Villa, Brentford versus Tottenham, Chelsea and Liverpool is a big one.
Yeah.
And then United against Wolves on the Monday night. So just some of the big ones there. What do you think to them? You've got City Burnley, let's say, opening game. What do you think?
Smash him.
Smash, yeah?
Yeah.
Weghorst hat-trick completely.
Oh yeah, I forgot. No one getting Vegas in the.
Did he?
No? Okay.
He got booed, didn't he, at home when he played in the pre-season friendly? The booed him.
Yeah.
It's not going well.
Oh, Mr. Vout, poor lad. Arsenal Forest. Do you think that Arsenal started off with a win?
Yeah.
I hope not, because it'd just be funny to see the Arsenal fans implode after spending 100. What have they spent? How much have they spent? 200 million?
Oh, they spent a lot. Yeah, Havertz,
more than
Rice,
150 million.
And Timber.
Yeah, so 200 million.
Yeah, just to see him absolutely implode after spending 200 million would be hilarious.
Yeah.
So imagine Rice gets injured first game in.
Oh
yeah. I never wish for someone to get injured, but yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Newcastle Villa, be a tough game, wouldn't it?
That's a good game.
That'd
be
an
interesting game.
Good game.
Yeah, 5:30. That's on Sky Sports. Yeah. Chelsea Liverpool, another one where it's like a bit of mystique behind it.
For a change, I can say it will be a high-scoring game, like Chelsea was Liverpool.
If Pochettino gets them going, that could be an interesting game. If he manages to get them rolling. That could be an interesting game. They've looked
good pre-season. Yeah. Everything that I've seen, they've looked decent.
Liverpool have overhauled their midfield and they're going for Lavia as well, so might take a while for that midfield to bed in and get to know each other. Cause it's
Lavia, McAllister, and
Szoboszlai.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then the big hitters, the one that everybody cares about. Obviously, don't do a score prediction because we're going to do a preview for this game. But United Wolves, comfortable.
Always a shit game. Always a shit game.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful. Yeah, absolutely.
Just
but
always.
Do you think we get the dub?
Let's just hope like 1-0 or something. Like I'll take that. Just as long as it's a win.
I don't know
I'll take it.
but every single time we face Wolves, it is that sort of.
Exactly. Shit. It's always a crap game. Yeah. And I hate
Rashford
it.
scored, didn't he, in the last game? That shrug off the thing, and then...
and then I think in the second round fixture, it was Garnacho who scored after coming on. He made his comeback and he scored.
Yeah.
Did he? I can't remember that game.
Yeah. Weghorst was calling out for the ball and he decided not to.
Yeah, we was like, no, mate, you're not fucking getting that. Yeah.
Weghorst
now I remember it.
Stewart!
Me! Yeah. Pass it, me! No, pal. You've not scored in the league all fucking season. You're not getting the ball.
Alan said this didn't lack a Bruno. Suarez has got Bruno in. Suarez has got Bruno in his team.
Yeah.
I do want Bruno in, and I do... Look, things can change. After the landscape of the first week of the Premier League, people are like, he's going straight out of my fucking team. I think Bruno's link-up with Rasmus is going to be super interesting. I think if them two hit that kind of partnership off straight off the bat, I think they'll be getting a lot of numbers. But the issue was last season, a lot of output in terms of creativity, more than anyone in the league, but no one on the end of him to finish him.
So he didn't get any assists, like... creation, did it? Because nobody.
He had one of the most chances created in the league, but it just didn't, convert into assists.
You don't get points for chances created, unfortunately. You only get points for assists. So,
Charlie's saying if they get a keeper, they're close to spending 300.
There you go. Right.
They have to do something this season. Have to.
Yeah.
It's a must.
If they don't win a trophy this season, like, they've got no excuse. There's no excuse. There's zero excuse for not winning a trophy.
Get out to Iraq. Get out to Iraq, my club.
Can't wait for it.
Banter club. Absolute banter club they are.
Yeah.
Absolute joke club.
Exciting. I'm really, really excited for Premier League football. Thank God it's back, because I've been watching cricket. I've been watching anything just for live sports that fits. So praise the Lord that football is back. So excited. We are going to do the big season preview probably on Monday. I think it is. Well, there'll be quite a few of us on. Top 4 predictions, score, like top scorer, all that kind of jazz. Always fun, always funny when you look back at them as well. So do join us for that. But yeah, the next couple of days over the weekend, there's going to be loads of content coming your way. So turn on that notification bell. Drop us a follow on socials, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Real Red Star. All the handles are at the bottom of your screen. And if you want to become a members, we've got 2 videos dropping this week. One of them's already been done. The other one will be done towards the end of the week. Click the link in the bio or click the join button next to the notification bell and become part of the community, the growing community. Sam, anything else?
No, get your capybaras in the chat. You know how this goes.
Yeah.
You know how this goes.
Yeah.
If you're a member or if you're a regular, you know how this goes. Get your fucking capybaras in the chat. We're getting close to 3,000 subscribers thanks to you, wonderful lot. So please do help us. If you're new, please do subscribe. Share it with a mate. If you know they're into football, if you know they like United, share it with them. Because that's what helps. Word of mouth's the best thing for us. That's what helps us the most. So please do share it with mates, and we'll get us to 3,000. If we get to 3,000 for the first game, that would be amazing. That would be a great start to the season. So
that's a nice point to have there. I think we're at like 97 subs off 3,000 subscribers, which is madness. So yeah, keep supporting, keep commenting, keep liking. We appreciate every single one of you, and we will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone. Thank you to Shreyas and Sam, and yeah, peace.
Plays out there.
Capybara.
Capybara, 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 capybara,
Capybara.
capybara, 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 capybara.
Peace out.
Peace.